Alright, so this video is going to cover how to like make how to re-rig your skin mesh if you actually make a modification to your mesh and you want to re-rig it without going through the whole painful process of like actually re-rigging it. There's a shortcut you can do actually that will save you quite a bit of time. So let's just go ahead and unhide all the polygons. So let's say you want to make a change to the mesh and like you want to change the UV or whatnot and you know uh, and you want to like you don't want to like re-rig everything. Jesus, I just repeated myself. All right, so first thing you need to do is click on the mesh and then go to skin utilities. Um, I have mine set up here, but if it's not, you just go to more. It's right here. It's one of the least used things. Well, it doesn't show up because I have it over here. Whatever. All right, so you click on your mesh, you go extract skin data mesh, and what it does is it'll create this thing here that contains the skinning weights of your mesh. Now you just go ahead and hide that for now, and then the mesh you can actually go ahead and just remove the skin modifier, or I mean like yeah, remove the skin modifier, and then now you can make any changes to the mesh. Like let's say I want to change the UVs on it like this. Let's do some shit. Jesus Lord. Okay, all right, let's say boom, just changed it. And let's see if I like you can even add another piece of thing, like another you can add the, you can just modify the mesh. Sorry, let's just modify it properly. Like layout. Blah! Like, all right, okay, cool. Now you want to go back and re-rig the thing. So what you do is you just apply the skin modifier again, and then select all the bones, and then unhide that skin data mesh guy. Click, control click both of them, so you got your mesh and your skin data mesh. Go back to skin utility tools, import, and then click match by name, and then click OK. And now it should have kept the original skin weights. Now this is gonna be a bit of like it, you're gonna need to do a bit of cleanup basically, but for the most part, it actually it kept the skin weights for a lot of the other pieces, like the piston here works, so you don't need to touch that. But it looks like it kind of fucked up on the wheels. All right, did a bad job there. But anyways, you're gonna have to do a bit of cleanup, but you're not have to start. You're not starting from scratch. That's the main point. You're saving yourself quite a bit of time. So yeah, like you'll notice this new piece that we added, like we added some more vertices here. It didn't weight those properly. So what we're just gonna go ahead and just click those ones and just weight it to the proper bone, which is the gear leg. Chicken legs. All right. So it looks like the wheels were acting kind of funky. Oh, let's see. Oh, wow. Really fucked up there, didn't it? Okay, so that one looked good. I mean, the piston looks great. I mean, you don't have to touch that. So you didn't have to touch that. I'm trying to see areas where it actually came out all right. But, wow, didn't get any of the wires either. Well, whatever. We're gonna have to do we're gonna have to redo the wires anyway. See, but look at that. It kept that one. You know. Yeah. Anyways, point is, it's good to do that because you wouldn't have to re-rig these joints here as well. But anyways, the ones where it did fuck up, you're gonna have to re-rig it. So, yeah, better than nothing, yeah, as I say. All right, how's that look? How does that look? All right, cool. Hey, looks like it actually kept the wires. What the hell? Oh, okay. Well, yeah, okay, cool. All right, I like that. All right, so let's go ahead and export this to Unreal. So first thing you need to do, go ahead and delete this. You don't need this anymore. Whoa, what the heck's my root bone doing out there? Okay, whatever. It's not super important, but mm, probably should have did a better job of making sure that was in the center of the plane, but yeah, whatever. Not terribly important. Okay, so to export this to Unreal, let's just go ahead and select everything. Export. Um, Export selected, I guess. Let's just some projects here. Let's call it just test. SK plane. No. Now we're just this first thing that we're exporting is the mesh and all the bones. We don't we call this is just the rig mesh. So we're not going to include the animations in this one. Yeah, whatever. Don't just ignore that. Now the animations that is we're going to export that as a different mesh as a different FBX file. So we're only going to need up to 11 frames. I'm sorry, 10 frames. Select all. Export. SK and yeah, animations, bake animation, resample. Yeah, I honestly don't know if that makes a difference if you want to resample it. I always keep it like that. All right, let's fire this up in Unreal. 4.2. New project. So let's create a folder. Uh, Meshes. Blueprints. So I need a So first I'm going to export the SK plane. So this is the rig mesh, the plane, the rig bones, and the mesh. So we're going to create its own skeleton. Blah blah blah. No, let's not do any materials for now. Wire 7 wire. Okay, whatever. I must have forgot to actually bind any vertices to those wires, but whatever. You're not going to make that mistake. I'm sure of it. Alright, so there we go. There's the plane, and let's see if we can animate the bones manually. See if the came through okay. So there's that wire. Gear shop. Oh, it's over there. Gear leg. Alright, cool. Came through. Came through. Yeah. Okay. So those wires, like, why didn't it look good in the Max scene? Huh. Well, that's weird. It looks fine here. Um. Oh, maybe it's because it's not fine. It's not fine. It's because it's these wires are actually not even. Yeah, I guess it's not. Oh, because it's linked to that bone. All right, so let's just go ahead and link these wires to the proper bones. First, I'm just gonna select them all and just link them to the top, and then that one. Make sure I turn off the select by element. Those wires. That. Oh, what a mess. Sometimes it's easier just to grow, select the ones up there and just click on grow. So it's going to grow all the way there and then just deselect the ones up here. Okay, I think that one looks alright. Right, save that. And let's export that out again. Now let's re-import that. See how that looks. Ah, yeah, better. Okay, now let's see that wire. Ah, okay, that looks like it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. All right, cool. All right, so now let's import the animations. Sorry, I clicked on it by accident. There we go. That's what we're supposed to do. All right. Okay. So animations came through. Okay. Yeah. Looks like it came through. Whoa. What the heck is going on there? Okay. What the hell? Oh, okay. I must have selected those weights as well. Yeah. Okay. You know what? I'm making a lot of mistakes here that you guys aren't going to be making, so don't worry about it. All right. Well, let's stick with that. We'll keep this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the blend spaces so it can animate in a blueprint. So we're going to be creating a lot of miniature animations. So I like to throw this inside of a subfolder. So I want to create a blend space for the wheels going for the wheel spin. No, actually for the wheel spin I don't need a blend space. The wheel spin is just basically it's just a looping animation. So I'm just gonna copy this and just call SK. You know what? You know, Epic Games, they always like encourage people to use this stupid SK naming convention and shit. But you know what? Fuck it. Who cares, man? Just call it anim wheel spin. This is a mess. All right. So, and for this one, we just need to take frames 0 to 8. So it was from 0 to 8 that the wheels were spinning, right? Yeah. Did I? Oh, what the frick am I doing? I I thought I did the wheel spin. I did do it on 0 to 8, but I should have done the main. Yeah. See, this is why. I should have done this main gear thing on another frame, so it doesn't look so fucked up. But what you can do is you can easily just move them off to another frame. Just create some more. Not too hard. Gear shock. Yeah. Let's move these off of 8. Let's move them. Whoa. Let's move them past 8. Let's move them over to 10. Give us some more frames, please. Okay, so this is a bit easier to look at. Okay, so from 0 to 8 we got the wheel spin, and then from there we got the gears going up, and then there we got the shocks going in. Alright, cool. So this looks a bit easier for us to work with. Export this again. Animations. Shut up. Okay. Alright. We're gonna have to delete that wheel spin thing. I guess that was something old. Re-import this. And this should be 21 frames, yeah. Yeah, okay, that looks good. Okay, let's start over again. So let's create a new animation, call it anim wheel spin. And this one, we just want it from 0 to 8. 0 to 8. Cut it from. So what I'm doing, I'm going to the 8th frame. I'm pressing right click, and then I'm clicking on removes frames 9 to 22. Now when you loop this, it's just the looping animation of the wheel spinning. Which is exactly what we want for anim wheel spin. Now another anim pose that we need is the gear going up, yeah, retracting. So we want, so again, that's like, so we want when the gear is at the open position, and then when it's in the closing position, and we want the frames in between as well. So like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, right? So let's create this called wheel, no, gear retract frame 1. And then we just copy this. It's 4 frames, I believe. So it's like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Alright, so that's 5 frames inclusive of the 14. 3, 4, 5. Okay. So it starts over there. Alright, so for this one, we're just gonna go ahead and chop off. We just want frame 10. Remove there, and then remove it from there. Alright. And then for this one, we want to chop off. We just want frames 11. Save it. So make sure Control S to save. Control Shift S to save all. I like doing that. So for frame 3, we want actually from 10, 11, 12. We want the 12th frame. And frame 4, 13. And finally, the last frame, the 14th frame. Alright, so we got the frames for the gear retraction. Now we want to do the frames for the gear shocks. Alright, so copy and paste this one. Now I'm copy and pasting the one with the 21 frames, right? Keep that in mind. We're not because these new animations that I created, they're just single frame animations. So anyways, so now the shocks, the wheel shock, frame 1. So the wheel shocks are 3-frame animation. Yeah. So it's got like the starting frame, 1, 2. Alright, so yeah, that's just 3 frames. So let's copy and paste 3 frames. Now, if you don't want to keep zooming in and out like this every time you open up a new animation, the trick is don't close it, all right? Just go back to your thingy and just double click on the new animation. It'll open it up like that. If you close it, it'll just make you zoom back in like this. It's a nice little Unreal Editor bug. So this is when the shocks are up, fully up, so it's 15th frame. Control S, frame 2. Yeah, it's 17. Okay, we got those 3 frames, and is that it? Yeah, let me see. So that goes in. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much all we need for now. Now we create the blend spaces. Now to create a blend space, just right click anywhere and just click on animation. Excuse me, sorry about that. We want to use blend space 1D because we're only going to be blending in 1 dimension. If you want to learn more about this, there's tons of YouTube videos, but whatever, I'm not going to go into it. We're going to be using that skeleton. So blend space, BS, gear retract. Now the horizontal axis, so for the gear retracting, I mean, like, to be honest, it doesn't really matter, but let's just go from 0 to 100. So at 0, I'm going to say that the gear is fully retracted out, and at 100, the gear is fully closed in. So let's just go ahead and start it. Gear retract frame 1 over here. So since we've got 5 frames, you want to have a division of 5 equal grid points. So you want to set your grid points to however many frames you're going to be using. I'm sorry, the division should be 1 less than the number of frames you're using. Sorry about that. Alright, cool. Now as you blend across it, it should... Oh yeah, look, it looks like it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. Yeah, fully closed, fully open. Why is there a little hitch there? Is this frame 3, frame 4, frame 5, frame 2, frame 1? I must have created my frames. I think I fucked up on the frame. Yeah, I made frame 3 and 4 equal to each other. Okay, let's just go ahead and fix that. So it looks like frame 4 is fucked up. Frame 4 should... I need to redo frame 4 then. So I'm just gonna go ahead and... We need to delete that and start from scratch again. Gear retract. Frame 4. Alright, so we want the 4th frame. Okay, so that's the 5th frame, 14, 13. That's the 4th frame, 13. So let's cut it from there. Okay, let's see how that works. Frame 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. 5th frame. So why is 3 and 4 the same? 1, 2, 4. frame fucked up. Let's try to test something. Okay, so that's frames 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Maybe let's try this frame. So, okay. So, 1, 2. What the fuck? You know what? Let's not use frame. Wow, why is frame 4? Okay, you know what? Fuck it. It's not a. You know, let's just go ahead and skip that frame. But like the reason that I didn't want to skip is because you'll notice that the struts here, they're not, you know, because it's doing like a linear interpolation. It doesn't actually, it's missing that strut. It doesn't. It's not. It doesn't look like it should the way we animated it. Yeah, so that's why I wanted to create a proper frame for it. But for some reason I must have fucked up somewhere. But I'm sure there's a simple explanation for it. But you know, you guys just be careful when you're creating those frames. Make sure you do a better job than what I do. Anyways, let's just go ahead and leave it like that for now because I don't want to spend any more time with this bullshit. All right, let's create another blend space for the wheel shock. Yes, wheel shock. So for this one, the wheel shock is only 3 frames, so we just need 2 divisions. Wheel shock frame 1, 2, and 3. Oh, fun. Well, that one works. That one works alright. Yeah, it looks like I must have missed something on the weighting there, but as I said, I was rushing through everything, so you guys aren't going to be making the same mistakes I am. So, alright, that's a good blend space. We'll keep that. Alright, so now we've got our blend spaces, and now we just want to create a animation blueprint. So under animations, create a blueprint animation. Oh, sorry, just that one. Parent class, just use the anim instance parent class, and just like that. BP anim plane. Oh, that's freaking far. Oh, right. I should probably create an idle pose. So basically, the idle pose is just the first frame. It's just and it's just one frame. Okay, so yeah, let's throw in the idle pose. Now you want to throw in the wheel spin. Okay, let's take a look at this closer. All right. Yeah, looks good. So now what we want to do is we want to do something called a layered blend. Uh, Something called a blend layer. Blend per bone. Layered. That's the one. Layered blend per bone. All right. So the base pose is basically your idle pose. The second pose is your wheel spin for this one. And then just final result that. So we want to take the wheel spins. We want to take just the bones for the wheels in this layered blend per bone. So go to the layer setup, click on the first one. Now, at the moment, it doesn't have these array elements are the actual bones you want to be adding. So now we need to add three three elements for each of the bones. Now to find the bone names that we need to add, we can just go back to the skeleton and go ahead and it's wheel 1, so we can just copy this bone names there. Just paste it in there. Wheel 2, wheel 3. And the blend depth is 1. So 1 basically means we're gonna be blend depth basically means how many bone chain, like how many bone elements it'll go down the chain before it reaches the full strength of its blend, basically. So if you had a chain of like 3 bones, so imagine we have a spine, like we have a spine 1, spine 2, spine 3, spine 4, and if you start at the spine 1 and you set a blend depth of 3, what it's going to do is it's going to travel down 3 uh, spine lengths until it reaches the 3rd spine, and at that point the blend strength will be 100, and the bones before that they'll have a value between 0 to 100 depending on how close to the 3rd bone it is. So the first bone will have a blend of strength of 33, second bone is 66, and then the 3rd bone will be the full 100. So that's kind of how blend depth works. But for mechanical objects such as cars and whatnot, you're always going to be either going to be a 0, 1, or -1. Actually, I think -1 means to. I think 0, yeah, 0, 1. Yeah. I sometimes use -1 for some reason, but yeah, I think the 0 will work. 0 basically just means stop it, don't cut it off at this point. And we'll use that later on. I'll explain. I'll explain when you would need to use a 0. So for now, just set them to 1. Compile it, and let's see if it runs. Okay, looks to be okay. Now we want to, for the playback speed, we want to actually set this as a variable. So let's go ahead and play rate as a pin and throw that out. Promote to variable, and then call it wheel spin. Okay. Now 0 to 1, 100. Sorry. All right, compile that, and under we should see the value here. Wheel spin. Oh, actually, this refers to the actual the frame rate. So let's just put in something like not too ridiculous, okay? So a frame rate of -5. So 5 means it's going to be spinning 5 times the normal speed, and -5 means it'll be going in reverse. So let's check this out. All right, so there. So you notice if at 0 the wheels don't spin, but when I set it to 1, it's spinning at the rate at which I originally animated it in 3D Studios Max. So if I set this to 5, it's going to be spinning 5 times as fast. Okay, cool. So that's wheel spin. So that's how you set, like, that's how you do a how you do a spinning wheel. Very hypnotic. And that's why it was important to make sure that the animation was linear interpolation, because when it's not a linear interpolation and you watch this thing spin, it's gonna do like this really herky-jerky ease in and ease out motion, and that's not how wheels animate at all. So anyways, now next we're gonna do the gears, the retracting gears. So we're just gonna throw in the gear retraction here, the blend space for the gear retraction, and we're just gonna go ahead and add a new pin and throw that in here. Now for the gears, we want to actually just use the bones. So let's go back to the bone setup. So for the gears, we only want to use these bones. Let's take a close look at this again. So we just want to use the gear leg bone, and we want to use we don't want to use the strut. No, wait, do we need the strut too? No, we don't need the strut too. So we're gonna have to cut it off there. And we need to cut off the strut 3 and cut it off at the gear shock. Yeah. wires as well. But we want the strut one as well, because the strut one is actually part of the gear animation as it animates. We want to keep that. So okay, let's just go ahead and do this. So let's add some. Let's close that one since we're done with that. Open this one. So we need one for the strut one. And then gear leg, is it? Yeah. Okay, so that should do that. So when we set it to bone depth 1 for strut 1, it's actually gonna include the strut 1 sub as well, because it goes all the way. It'll take the rest of the bone chain down as well. So you don't have to include strut 1 in there. It'll just do it for you automatically. Now, because we do not want to include these bones as part of the gear retraction animation, we're animating those on another blend space. We're gonna have to include these names and set them to a blend depth of 0. Okay, so we're gonna have to go strut 2, 0, strut 3. Let's add a few more here. Strut 3, gear shock, wire 1. I don't care about these things because these things aren't really animating and they're not rigged to any mesh parts, so I don't care. Go ahead, do what you want to do. Don't give a shit. Alright, so let's just close that. Delete these since we're not using these. Okay, so that's the gear retraction blend space. Now we want to promote this to a variable. Call this gear retract. And this one we want it to animate between 0 and 100. Expose on spawn as well. Instance editable. Instance editable. Expose on spawn. Like that. All right, let's test this bad boy. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? What the fuck? Gear retract. Instance editable. Sorry. Oh, sorry, it's over here. God darn it. I didn't even see it. Okay, cool. So we can just test it out here. So your wheel spin. Wheel spin's not spinning. Say that again. The gear track. Oh, gear track's working. Wheel spin is not spinning. I think it's because I need to put the gear retract above. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it just needs to go like that. Wheel spin needs to be below. Yeah, I remember running into this bug, so let me see if that works. Yeah, there we go. Fucking gear retract's not working now. You fucking kidding me? Okay, gear retract. Wheel spin. Oh fuck! I didn't. Ah shit! Yeah, I need to. Oh Jesus Christ! I think I need to. Okay, shit. I guess I did need to. Wow. I guess it's important. This is really kind of tricky. Then you need to make sure gear retract is up here. Okay. So when you're doing these layered blend poses, I wonder if I can actually do this. Okay, let me just put that back up there. I wonder if I can remove this blend pane. Keep this one because this one had a lot of variables in it. Keep that in there. I wonder if I can do this. Okay, create another one. Create another one. So that's still working, and then this wheel spin. Now I'm gonna add the wheels back here. Oh, nice, nice. Whew, okay, yeah. So that fixes that. Yeah. Yeah, when you do an add to pin here, when you're adding pins and you add a new blend pose, the new blend pose can only affect the bones that are below the uh, the ones above it, if you can understand what that means. So basically, this gear retract is actually manipulating bones that go up here, like that start the gear, the main gear arm, and the strut here, and whatnot. So I could theoretically add the wheel spin here. So, wait, no, but that didn't work. Okay, whatever. I don't know. You know, you can do it either way. You can do it this way. This way is a bit. It looks a bit messier, but it works just the same. So basically, I just added another layer by unplugging. I have done it before where I added a new pin as well, but you'll have to experiment. I'm sure you can figure it out. So anyways, the wheels are spinning and your gears are retracting. Oh, we gotta add the shocks. Yeah, the shocks. Actually, I wonder if I can add the shocks here. Yeah, I think the shocks. Yeah, I think I can add them here. Yeah, so I think that should be okay. No, promote the variable. And then we need to set the bones. So with the shocks, we want to select which animations. So for the gear shocks, we're selecting just the gear shock bone here, and oh, we need these two bones, strut 2, strut 3, and the wires. Yeah, we need all those. So let's go ahead and include those. Strut 1, gear shock. Strut 2. 2, gear shock, gear shock. And wire 1. Jesus, my memory is getting bad. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Oh yeah, that is exactly what we want. Man, I did a really poor job there. Oh, anyways, you're gonna do a better job when you guys do this. All right, cool. So now, so each of these blend spaces animate independently of each other. So you can have this down while it's retracting, and you can have it up while it's retracting, or the wheel spin. So they're animating independently of each other, and that's the cool part. And that's the whole beauty of using layered blend per bone. And yeah, so that's that. We are done. Actually, we can go ahead and create a blueprint with this animation plane. So now we can go click on the BP anim plane. Oh, I'm sorry, click on the mesh here, the escape plane, and we can create a blueprint. Anim no, no, sorry, not a Anim blueprint. An actual blueprint. Okay, I guess it doesn't let us create it from there. Well, let's just create it from here. Blueprint class. Let's call it an actor. BP plane. And then add a skeletal mesh plane. And the mesh. And the anim class, we're going to be using that blueprint anim that we just created. So yeah, as you can see, by default it's just spinning, right? So what you want to do is you want to go to the event graph, and then you want to, excuse me, let's do this on the tick. Yeah, tick the plane. I think it's get dynamic anim instance. Get anim instance. Yeah, there we go. And then from there, cast it to the BP anim plane. And then from there, you can actually start setting. So you want to set gear shock or whatever, gear retract. Set wheel shock, wheel spin. Set wheel spin. Sequence is a good way of doing this. So now you can just set it like that. Now we should create some variables for this. It's so stupid that I'm actually creating the same. I wish I can just copy the values of the anim blueprints. Okay, so instance editable, expose on spawn, 0. See, it's kind of dumb that I'm creating this for the blueprint and the anim blueprint. I wonder if there's a way to just duplicate this without having to redo everything like this. Wheel shock. Wheel spin. So wheel spin actually goes from -5 to 5. All right, and there we go. Let's plug those in. Okay, compile. Now if we throw this in here, it's big. And if we press play, now if we shift F1, and we can actually edit the plane. You can see the variables in here. Yeah, cool. All right, cool. So now it's all good to go. And that's it. That's basically how you set up a blueprint animation in Unreal. The rest of the parts are done exactly the same. So for like example, you wanted to animate the flaps and whatnot, you would just create, go to your anim blueprint, and you'd have to create a new blend space for for every part that you want to animate. So if you want to animate the flaps, the tail flaps, the engine spin, you would have to create a blend space for each of those parts. So for the right engine, you create a blend space. For the left engine, you create its own blend space, and you do it the same way that I taught you earlier for each of them. Okay, thanks. That's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. Bye.